Make the ground shake.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is BossWave and welcome back to Borderlands the pre-sequel, and today I have a very special video for you guys. It's actually how to acquire all the legendary submachine guns in the non-DLC version of Borderlands pre-sequel. So all the non-DLC weapons will be in this video, so the Fatah, the Torrent, the Hellfire, and the IVF. And it's going to show you guys how to acquire those weapons and all the max stats for those weapons as well. And basically, instead of going about and making a separate video for each one of these weapons, I decided to put them all into one big video. And if there's a weapon in particular that you'd like to see in this video, you can go ahead and click the name of that weapon right now, and it'll take you towards the time period of that video where I start talking about that weapon, and that way it saves you a bit of time of going through the video and trying to search for the weapon you're looking for. So yeah, be sure to leave a like if you guys enjoy this video, and yeah, let's get started. Alright, so the first weapon we have on our list is the Fatah. The Fatah is a legendary Hyperion SMG, and as you can see here with all the stats I have, I'm going to go over here real quick. Damage on it is 8,960, accuracy is 96.8, fire rate is 9.7, reload speed is 2.7, magazine size is 43, crowd damage per second is 6,318, and the freeze chance is 11.5%. Now mine has a Loonshine bonus, yours may or may not have that. That varies differently depending on which or how you get this gun. And the red text there stands for Stone Cold Killer, which basically means, in simpler terms, that this weapon will always be ice. Now I know back in Borderlands 1 and 2, this was known as the bitch. This weapon was known as the bitch, and they changed the name of it in Borderlands pre-sequel. It's the same gun basically, but it only comes in ice in the pre-sequel. You cannot get this gun in any other element or non-elemental versions in the pre-sequel. It only comes in ice, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but some people might want a different element version of the weapon. Anyway, it also has 26% weapon accuracy, 125% weapon recoil reduction, and 75% increased critical hit damage. So yeah, and of course with it being a Hyperion weapon, the firing increases accuracy as well. So basically, in order to get this weapon, you're going to need to do a couple of things actually, and I'm going to pull it up here just so I know what I'm talking about. You're going to need to do 2 quests before you get to the quest that will take you to the boss that you need to farm for this gun. So the 2 quests you need to do is Intelligences of the Artificial Persuasion and the Treasures of Echo Madre. I think you can get the Treasures of Echo Madre from Pickle, and I think the Intelligences of Artificial Persuasion is a story mission, so I don't really need to worry about that if you have the story done. Just go ahead and check through your completed quests and see if they're completed. Anyway, after that, you're going to want to get the mission Rough Love from Nurse Nina, and when you do that mission, it's going to have you kill like 3 couriers. You want to farm the second courier. His name is Drongo, multiple times. I think the other 2 couriers do drop unique loot if you like to farm those as well, but I know in the past that you weren't able to farm any of the enemies because Gearbox decided for whatever reason not to make bosses respawnable in the pre-sequel, but they did fix that, and Drongo is luckily one of those enemies that you can still farm in the pre-sequel, so you will be able to go back and you'll be able to kill him as many times as you desire. And it's a really great thing now because I just found out the other day that they increased all the drop rates in Borderlands 2 in the pre-sequel by 3 times what they originally were, so that's really cool. So hopefully you guys won't have too much trouble trying to get this weapon, but like I said, you guys can get this gun from Drongo, or you could get it from any suitable loot source, or maybe even the grinder as well. So yeah, that's pretty much the Fatah, and yeah, let's get to the next weapon. Alright, and the second weapon we have on our list is called the Torrent. The Torrent is a legendary Doll SMG with the base damage of 11,373. Accuracy is 90.6, fire rate is 10.4, reload speed is 1.8. Magazine size is 54, and it can come in all elements and also non-elemental versions. So whether you have a status effect here or not will depend on what version of the weapon you do get. I have an ice version here, so the cryo damage per second is 63,018. Yeah, 63,018. That's what I meant to say. 6,318 rather. I mean, and the freeze chance is 10%. And then spray it to slay it is the red flavor text there, which stands for increased damage and capacity, greatly increased fire rate, greatly reduced recoil when hip fired, no movement speed penalty while aiming down the sights, and fires a 5-shot burst, no burst fire delay. So it's pretty cool. Most Doll weapons do have kind of gimmicks like that, but this one is actually very good when shooting from the hip. I actually use it a lot from shooting from the hip. And yeah, and of course can come in all elements, so that's kind of a plus too. So yeah, I'd probably recommend a fire version or either fire shock. Really couldn't go wrong with anyone, but it's very similar to the Sandhawk in a way, not in terms of like, you know, shooting multiple projectiles, but it reminds me of, like, when I'm shooting it, it reminds me of the Sandhawk, and that's what I think of every time I use it. But anyway, to get this gun, you're going to have to do a couple of quests before you get the quest to kill the enemy. But this weapon drops from Meg, and for those of you wondering, yes, Meg is a Family Guy reference. But she's a thresher that's in the Hyperion Hub of Heroism, and she is down in the trash compactor, and there's a mission that you receive from Dr. Nakayama in order to go and kill him. Now, in order to get to Dr. Nakayama, I think you have to do a quest at the billboard in what's it called, in Jack's office. You go do that, and then you have to do like another quest for him. It's called Paint Job, and once that's done, it'll say it'll show a message showing Kill Meg, which is the mission you have to do in order to find Meg and then kill her and be able to farm her. And luckily, thanks to Gearbox being a good guy and all, they made it so that way you can farm her now. So you can now go down and farm her, which is great. And yeah, this weapon is pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's better than the bitch because I'm not a huge fan of the sub, like, semi-auto type thing. It's like, I don't know, it's different, it's weird for me. But anyway, it's still a very good weapon regardless, and if you are a fan of all SMGs, then this is probably a good choice for you. So yeah, let's go on to the next weapon. Alright guys, and the third weapon on our list is the Hellfire SMG. The Hellfire is a Malawan, or legendary Malawan SMG, and the damage on it is 8,101, accuracy is 93.1, fire rate is 8.0, reload speed is 2.5, magazine size is 37, and bird damage per second is 8,845.2, and the ignite chance is 20.6%. So this is a always fire SMG, by the way. This does not come in any other elements, doesn't come in any non-elements, and the red text there is basically we don't need no fire. And basically what that stands for is increased chance to ignite, increased DOT damage or dot damage, so damage over time, increased magazine size, and 50% splash damage. The Hellfire always spawns as an incendiary weapon. And of course mine does have 50% melee damage increase, but that's because I have the melee prefix for my Hellfire. That will not be there, or will be there depending on which version of the SMG you do get. But anyway, this gun, in order to acquire this gun, you get it from RK5 in Borderlands the pre-sequel. So yeah, I know this might sound weird because I know before people were like, hey, RK5 doesn't drop anything, but he actually does. It's a large aircraft that you have to face during the end of the game, and you don't even like hear about him until like 5 seconds, and you have to fight him, and it's like, yeah, I know, it's kind of stupid, but he's one of the main bosses in the game, I guess, and pretty much you have a slight chance of getting this weapon from him, because before, I think Gearbox decided to change their mind about like him not being able to drop weapons or legendaries, so they added this weapon, since I knew before the Hellfire did not have a boss to kind of that you could farm off of, but now they do, so they added him in, and now you can actually farm this gun by killing him over and over again. But yeah, that's pretty much the Hellfire there. Let's move on to the final weapon then. Alright, and the final weapon I'm going to go over with you guys today is called the IVF, also known as the Baby Maker from Borderlands 2. The damage on it is 11,248, the accuracy is 92.1, fire rate is 8.3, reload speed is 1.1, magazine size is 33, and mine does have a Loonshine bonus on it that increases grenade damage by 5%. Yours may or may not have that depending on which version of the gun you do get. And the red text there says OMG twins, which I read up on Wiki, and it says that upon reloading it is thrown like a typical TDR weapon and explodes, because that is their gimmick. But the resulting explosion results in 2 smaller guns which also explode. The smaller guns deal reduced damage. Basically this thing is a machine of war. Like literally, a lot of people don't even use this thing to shoot it. They just use it to throw at people. You'll see in the gameplay as I'm killing the bosun here, because he does have an increased chance to drop from the bosun, and he's one of the main game bosses that you do face in the pre-sequel, and he is located in Pity's Fall. Now once you go to him, he you'll see here in this gameplay that I just completely demolish him, because mainly what people do to this is just throw this thing like a grenade. They shoot off the first couple of bullets and then they throw it like a grenade, like all TDR weapons do, and it just does massive, and I mean massive, explosive damage, and it's probably the best TDR weapon in the game. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, this is a typical fan favorite weapon, and I don't know why it's called the IVF, to be honest. I forget what IVF stands for. I did look it up one day, I just can't remember it at all. But anyway, this is a very good weapon to have. However, it did not used to have a loot source, so you were not able to get it. You just had to get lucky from the grinder or something like that. But they did change it and made it so that way the bosun drops this weapon now, so that's pretty cool. However, I did think that the bosun before did drop the cryophobia. I don't know. I might be wrong on that. Don't take my word for it. But I know that now he does drop the IVF. I have gotten it from him multiple times. And yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much just everything that I need to go over today with you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I worked very, very hard on it. And yeah, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. And subscribe for more Borderlands content. My name is Bosswave. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace, guys.